Welcome to the video for lesson 4 for day 2. We're going to work on more simplifying expressions using the distributive property and then combining our like terms. So let's look at number 1 here. We have the 3 being multiplied by the 1 plus 3x, and then we're adding a 2x. So to start off, I see that I'm multiplying this 3 times the 1 plus 3x. So because of this 3 needs to be distributed to both things in parentheses. I need to set up an area model. So I need to multiply the 3, so that goes on the side, that's the monomial, and then times 1 plus 3x. So that's going to go on the top. So to fill in my area model here, I'm going to multiply 3 times the 1 to get 3, and then the 3 times 3x to give me 9x. And remember, I like to put that plus 9x just to remind me that it's a positive. It helps me so that I don't lose negatives. If I have a negative answer, I don't want to lose that negative. So now I just rewrote what was in my area model, the answer that we got from multiplying, but then I still see this plus 2x. I haven't done anything with that yet. So that plus 2x needs to come into my expression. I haven't done anything with it yet. Now that I have my expression, I did the multiplication, I can go ahead and look for some like terms. Remember, I like to look for the x variables first, just to keep me in standard form. So when I look, I see a positive 9x and a positive 2x. Those are like terms, both x variables. So I'm going to combine those first. So in my calculator, remember we can't put variables, but I can put the 9 plus 2 in my calculator. 9 plus 2 gives me 11, and they were both x variables. That's why I put them together. So I'm going to make sure that I bring an x over here. And then when I look at my answer, my expression from above, I still have this 3 out front that I haven't done anything with. There are no other constants to combine with. So in my answer, I'm just going to add that plus 3 after the 11x. And then that's my answer. So we'll put a circle around that. Okay, let's do another example together. Okay, in number 2 here, you'll notice that there is part of the question missing. It's just because we didn't want you going ahead and trying these without going through them with us now that we're getting a little more practice. So in that box, in the parentheses, we're going to put in the 2n plus 6. And now this was just missing from yours, again, just so you wouldn't get ahead. So I'm not adding anything other than just kind of telling you what the problem is here. That's what I'm doing with that step. Okay, so now I have a negative 9. My problem is negative 9 minus 4, and then that negative 4 is being multiplied by the 2n plus 6. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to sneak a 1 in there. I know it's a little tight, but I'm going to try to sneak a 1 in next to that n to remind me that it's not just negative n, that means it's a negative 1n. I'm bringing over an area model because when I look here, I see that this negative 4 is being multiplied by the 2n plus 6. That's a monomial, one term, multiplied by a binomial, two terms. So that just tells me I need to set up an area model. I have a negative 4 being multiplied by a 2n plus 6. So I need to set up an area model so I can distribute that negative 4 to both terms in the parentheses. To fill in the area model, we multiply. Negative 4 times 2n. Negative 4 times 2 gives me negative 8. And because there was an n there, no other variables to add with, I just need to bring over that n. And then on the side here, I have a negative 4 times positive 6. Negative 4 times 6, again, we can just put that in our calculator, and we get negative 24. Okay, so that's my answer from the simplified, but I usually keep it up in front. I still have that negative 1n that I haven't done anything with yet. So I just like to bring that along back in front where it was originally. So we had a negative 1n here. I didn't have to distribute that or anything, so that's just coming down. Then I need to take my answer from the area model and write it next to that negative 1n. So next to the negative 1n, our answer to the question, the area model distribution was negative 8n, so minus 8n, and then negative 24, so minus 24. Okay, so now I don't have any more parentheses. I've done my distribution. Now we can look for like terms. So when I look, I see, again, always looking for the variable first to keep it in standard form. I have a negative 1n minus 8n. Negative 1 minus 8, I can put in my calculator. Remember, we can't put the variable in, but we can put the negative 1 and the negative 8, the coefficients, in. Negative 1 minus 8 gives me a negative 9. They are both n variables. That's why we were able to combine them. So then I'm just going to put an n next to that. Then I have a minus 24. It's a constant by itself. There are no other constants to combine with. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring that down into my answer. So then minus 24. So my answer for this question is negative 9n minus 24. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so number 3 here, we are missing part of the expression, and it's just, again, so that you don't go ahead, so I'm going to fill that in first. Okay, so the missing part was this j plus 3k. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 1 in front of the j to remind me that that is a 1j. Then when I look here, I see I have a 5 being multiplied by 1j plus 3k. So since it's a one-term monomial being multiplied by two terms, the 1j plus 3k, I need to set up an area model. So I'm multiplying the 5 goes on the side because it's the one term, and then I have 1j and the positive 3k, that's going to go on the top. Remember, I like to bring the positive sign over so I remember that it's a positive 3, I don't lose a negative. Okay, then I'm going to multiply 5 times 1j. 5 times 1j is 5j, so in the first spot I'm going to put a 5j. And then for the next one, 5 times 3k. So 5 times 3 is 15, so plus 15, and then I have the k. Okay, so that's my answer for that first part. I ended up with 5j plus 15k, but I'm not done yet. I look at my original problem, my original expression that I'm simplifying, and I see this positive 4 is being multiplied by the 8j plus 2k. So it's being multiplied by two terms. So I'm going to bring up another area model. I need to multiply that monomial in front times the binomial 8j plus 2k. So I'm going to put the 4 on the side because that's the one term by itself. It's a positive 4, so I'm not going to bother. You could put the plus 4 if you wanted. I usually don't do that for the first term, just kind of for the second one. And then we have 8j plus 2k that's on the top there. Okay, so to multiply, we're going to multiply 4 times 8j. 4 times 8 gives me 32, and then it's just 1j, so 32j. And then I have 4 times 2k, so 4 times 2 gives me 8, and then again it's a k by itself, so it's just going to be plus 8k. So when I look at my expression, next to what I had originally, I distributed the 5, I got the 5j plus 15k, now I distributed the 4, and I ended up with 32j, so I'm putting in that plus 32j plus 8k. Okay, so now I've done my multiplication. The next step is to find any like terms. I see variables with both, so I need to go in alphabetical order to keep it in standard form. So I have the 5j, and then I have the plus 32j. So 5 plus 32, we can put in our calculator, and that gives us 37j. And then I'm looking at my like terms again. I see a positive 15k, and I also see this positive 8k, so I can put the 15 plus 8 in my calculator. 15 plus 8 gives me positive 23. Remember, they were k variables, that's why I was able to put them together. So my answer here is 37j plus 23k. Okay, we've done a lot of work so far. We've gone through half the problems. Right in this space off to the side of number 3 here, on the space right next to 3, I want you to give me a happy face, a straight face, or a sad face, just to kind of tell me how you feel at this point with the concept that we've been doing in this video. So with this distributing, using the area model, and then combining like terms. So either a smiley face, a straight face, or a sad face right next to the number 3. Okay, so number 4 here, again, we're missing part of the expression, so I'm going to add in the parentheses. So in the parentheses, I have 3a minus 2b. So I need to multiply to fill in my area model here. I'm seeing I have a negative 6 being multiplied by the 3a plus 2b, or I'm sorry, 3a minus 2b. So I need to set up an area model because I have one term on the side, the negative 6, being multiplied by that binomial, the 3a minus 2b. So I'm going to set up my area model with the negative 6 on the side, and then the 3a And I like to throw that negative in front of the 2b, so I know that's a negative. Okay, then I'm going to fill in my area model. Negative 6 times 3a. So negative 6 times the 3 gives me negative 18. There was one a, so I'm going to put that a with my answer, so negative 18a. And then negative 6 on the side times negative 2b. So negative 6 times negative 2 gives me a positive 12. And then they were both b, that's why I put them in there, so plus 12b. So I have negative 18a plus 12b, so I can write that first. So negative 18a plus 12b. Now the next one, I do see I have another area model I'm going to need because I have a negative 4 times the 3b plus 3. Okay, so I set up my area model. I have the negative 4 on the side, 3b plus 3 on the top. Negative 4 times 3 gives me a negative 12, and it's a negative 4 times 3b. So when I multiply the negative 4 times 3, I get negative 12, but then I also have a b variable. So negative 12b, and then on the side here I have negative 4 times a positive 3. Negative 4 times 3 gives me negative 12. Okay, so now I'm going to write that next to what we had just simplified, so minus 12b minus the 12. Okay, so I've done all my multiplication. I've brought down any extra terms. There were no extra. Both of these were just being multiplied, so I ended up with this part here. I'm not done yet because I need to look for like terms. So when I look for a variable first. I see the negative 18a. That's the first letter of the alphabet, so nothing can be before that at this point. So we have negative 18a as far as variables go. There are no other a's to combine with, so now I can just write the negative 18. So the negative 18a is my first term. Then when I look through my terms, I see b variables. It's a positive 12b and a negative 12b. Positive 12 minus 12 ends up giving me 0 b's. So I don't have any b's to write in my answer. So I don't need to write that at all. Then when I look, I have a negative 12, though, a constant. There are no other constants to combine with. So next to the negative 18a, I need to put the minus 12. And that's my answer. That middle term ended up canceling out, so I just ended up with two terms, negative 18a minus 12. All right, let's try another one. All right, so number 5 here, we're again missing some things in the parentheses here, so we're going to add in the 3x plus 7. Again, it was just because we hadn't given you the full question. And I'm also going to sneak in the 1 with the negative there, so I know that there's a negative 1 out front technically here. All right, I see something that needs to be distributed, so I'm going to set up an area model. Negative 1 goes on the side, that's the monomial one term, negative 1. And then on the top, I see the 3x plus 7, so that's going to go at the top, 3x plus 7. So remember, we're multiplying to fill in the area model, so negative 1 times 3x. Negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3, and then we had an x there, no other x's to combine with, so negative 3x. Then on the side, I have negative 1 times 7. Negative 1 times 7 gives me a negative 7. So that's my answer there. That's what I got from the area model, so I'm going to start by writing that down, negative 3x minus 7. But when I look, I can't just bring the next thing down because it's another monomial times a binomial. I have to distribute again. So I'm going to set up another area model box. And I'm going to put the 9 on the side because I'm multiplying 9. It's a positive 9, so I don't need to worry about any signs there. And then I had the 2x plus 11 at the top. So once you've written that, you need to multiply to fill in the area model. So we have 9 times 2x. 9 times 2 is 18. And then we had the x there. And then 9 times 11 for the next one is 99. So I wrote that down there. So now I have negative 3x minus 7 plus 18x plus 99. I'm not done yet. I got to look for some like terms. Variables first. I see a negative 3x, and then I see the positive 18x. Notice how I'm highlighting the sign with it. Negative 3 plus 18 gives me a 15, and they were both x variables. That's why we put them together. So 15x. And then I look for more like terms. The next thing I see is my negative 7 and a positive 99. Negative 7 plus 99 I can put in my calculator. Negative 7 plus 99 gives me 92. So my final answer here is 15x plus 92. Okay, so to save time, I'm going to stop there. We'll do the next example. I'm going to leave number 6 for you to try on your own. Okay, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.